this is David for Big Bits, and in this video I'm going to share with you this new software that I am going to be releasing for everyone to use completely free, and is also going to be open source. So if you're a developer with C# and you want to work on a project, maybe you can chip in and help with this particular project. But I want to explain first of all what it actually is and what it's capable of right now, and then talk about where we're going to go with the application as far as the future development. Now currently the application is able to scan the TradingView alerts log and capture the alerts from there. And not only does it capture the alerts, it captures the information from within the alerts. So that's why I call this the trade alert responder. It captures your trade alerts and then it responds to it in some way. And this is just kind of a code name. I'm not really sure I'm sold on trade alert responder, but for now we're going to be working with that name, and if that changes in the future I'll be sure to let you know. But you can see here from the alert, I've got the tooltip pulled up. There is a element around the outside called my bot, and it closes with my bot. This is like HTML code or XML. And then you can see within those beginning and end elements within the alert message, you can see other elements such as the first one, which is the act or action, and it's telling you this alert is telling you to sell. And you'll notice there are other different elements in there, and you can kind of get an idea of what kind of information is available by default. If you want to see this once you get the application, you can just click on the alert info button and it'll tell you a list of all the elements. Now, there are some default columns here, and excuse me, that took me a second to think of what I was going to say. There are some default columns here that have some information that you can have optionally on the alert. So the information in the elements I showed you before is completely optional. The only thing that isn't optional is a creation time. That's going to be created by default for you. You don't have to provide that information. Now, once the alerts get created, then they can be responded to. So once we have captured our alerts from TradingView and we have them in the application, now we can actually respond to them. Now it will respond automatically based on your settings. Now the alert scanner can pick up alerts within about 1 second of them actually showing up in your alerts log on TradingView. So what type of settings do we have? There are basically 4 different settings right now, 2 mainly concerned with the bot itself or the application here, and then some other social media related settings as well, because as of right now the only responses that we have are to post information on Discord and on Twitter. So the alert settings themselves kind of give you some information to customize the application for yourself, some of the default information. Now the bot name, you could have this be your bot name, and let me show you why this is actually something that might be important to you on the alert settings. This is actually an example of an alert it can create using the URL that I passed in. It took the screenshot and gave you some of the other information from the elements that were in there. Now you can change your bot name, so instead of it saying bot, it could say, you know, Big Bits bot. On the bot status, instead of it saying beta here, it could say nothing. You know, you don't have to have a status, or it can say production live, whatever. And then of course with the referrals URL, if you want to add your own referral link, you can do that and it will show up in the referral section. And these are all completely optional, I believe, except for the bot name. Now the disclaimer text is also available. That will show a little disclaimer at the bottom of your alert. Now keep in mind, if you are using Twitter, then there's a character limit that's very short. But as for the screenshots go, what it's doing is it's taking a screenshot of whatever URL you provide in that particular element, if you provided one, and it can crop the image, and it can also do a watermark, but I have that disabled at the very beginning here because it's using my watermark, and I want it to be to where you can upload your own watermark into the application. And let me show you that just again. You can see my watermark here. I applied my logo on top of the image automatically. This is not actually on the TradingView chart. This is actually something that the application itself adds to it. So if you want to brand your alerts for whatever reason, you can do that on your own social media. Let's check out our Discord alerts. The Discord settings, excuse me. You will need to create this as a bot in Discord or on Discord, and you will have to have a bot token. You will have to tell it the server and the text channel that you want to post to. and that's what I have done in the past here. I've cleared out my settings just for testing purposes, but you can do that. You can also choose to include your screenshot or not include it, and then tag different groups by default, everyone or here. And similarly, we also have Twitter already enabled, to where once you create an application on Twitter and get your own or another account's application key and secret, you can actually put that information in here. Now, you do have to be somewhat familiar with posting to Twitter. I'm not using OAuth to gain app access to you. You can actually use this to create your own application and post using your own application instead of actually using mine. So there is a little bit of an advantage to doing it this way. The disadvantage is it's a little bit harder to set up. But if you need information on that, I can help you get that. But this does essentially the same thing, except it does it on Twitter, and you can actually upload the image to Twitter and it'll post it to your Twitter post. So those are the options we have right now for actually responding to alerts. So you can see we have trades, and we have alerts, and then with the settings we have responded to them. So what is the actual purpose of this application? As you can see right now, it's pretty much just to share your alerts with other people. Now, there actually is a little bit more to it that I didn't actually show you thus far, but there is also an option to use memory mapped files. Let me bring the alert settings back up. You'll notice there is an option for memory mapped file. This will create a copy in the memory on your Windows operating system here to save the alerts, and other applications that are local that know how to read the alerts from this application can access those and use them once they get captured by this to respond themselves. So say you have a bot created in Python that trades for you and you wanted to capture your alerts from TradingView, but you don't want to have to code all of the stuff that I already have for you. You can just actually access the memory mapped file. Now, I don't use Python, so I can't tell you exactly how to do that or entirely if it's even possible with Python, but I know it is with C# because I've done it. But once you can read from that memory mapped file, you can actually pull the alerts as they happen out of this application and process them in your own application. So that might be something useful for some people in the future as well. So what else is going to come of this application? Right now, you might be thinking this is pretty simple. Why do I need to capture my alerts? And you've got a pretty good point. A lot of people don't care to share their alerts with everyone, but we are building some other features on top of this to make it more valuable, I should say, in the future. So I'm actually going to kind of hide this now on the other screen and show you the project on GitHub. This is the project on GitHub. It's under the BigBits.io organization, under the Trade Alert Responder repository, and you can see all of the different files that are included in it right now. But what we're going to be focusing on right now are the projects, and these kind of include future ideas that we would like to see included. And one of the first things are social media alerts. So not just Twitter and Discord, but we would like to see other social media platforms added as well. And you can see there's many here. And not only do we want to do different platforms, we also want to even include things like email and WordPress as well. So we're going to try to include Reddit. You can post these alerts to Reddit. You can upload your screenshots to Imgur. You can use Telegram to post on a bot with Telegram. You can post to Slack, perhaps post to Facebook, and then WordPress as well. And then we will evaluate using email. We'll have to find a service that's capable of doing that for us, or if we can use our perhaps own SMTP relay or something, we can do that as well. But one of the killer features that I think we're going to have, and I think this goes alongside with the memory mapped file, is that of the unlimited webhooks. Now, you'll notice with TradingView, you do get to use a webhook with your alerts. So let's go and try and edit this alert here. You will notice that an option for your alert action is to send out a webhook using the information that you tell it to. Now, this will send out one webhook. And what we try to accomplish with this application in the future is to allow you to create a list of webhooks to send it to. So if you are using this alert to trigger a trade or some action somewhere else, but you actually have multiple actions that you want to accomplish, or maybe you have multiple accounts that you manage and you would like that webhook to fire for multiple accounts with just the one alert, you can use the multiple webhooks or the unlimited webhooks, however you want to call it, for a particular alert and send that information to all of them that you would like. So that's just another way that that will actually help. Now let me go back and let's go back to the other project. So this is mostly social media and different endpoints for responding to the alerts. Click on project and back to the user experience stuff. I'm not sure there's much here, but one of the key things that I do want to add in eventually is the ability to create your own custom elements. Now you can see I have a list of predefined elements here. What I would like to see is a custom arrangement of elements, so you can actually create your own and the bot will know how to scan for its own elements that way. Now what I also would like to see come out of this is actually plugins. And you can tell that the way this application is going to work is it is going to be scanning the alerts log for updates on alerts and creating alerts for them. But what is to stop this application from just scanning TradingView, but other websites as well? So we can tell it using a plugin how to scan other websites or other applications. However we want to do it, it can scan whatever it wants as a plugin, and it can bring those alerts into the application that way. So one of the first things I'm going to be doing, hopefully, is, and I've already started working on the code, is for the stock screener to create alerts whenever your screener changes. And now this wouldn't just be the stock screener, this would be Forex and crypto as well. I would like to create an alert whenever these change and tell you which ones have been added and perhaps which ones have been removed as well. That way you will know the most recent additions and essentially create an alert for when they are added. And that will add them into the alerts panel and will respond appropriately to every one of those. And how it's going to respond, that might be a part of some of the settings we have soon as well. Now, we can also, of course, create plugins for other websites, as I mentioned. So, for example, you wanted to get an alert from CoinMarketCap whenever something happens, or you want an alert when somebody tweets something and you know how to scan for certain keywords on their profile. Maybe that's what we want to do with this, but I definitely think going towards plugins on scanning the particular websites is what we want to do. Now, not only do we want to do plugins for scanning, I would also like to see plugins for the response piece of this application. So instead of me having to code these into the application, what I would like to do is create an interface for the plugins to be able to have people create their own plugins to do whatever they want with the alert. So that could mean that with your plugin, you are actually going in here and you're posting to some social media that I've never heard of, or maybe you create a plugin for YouTube and it posts on your YouTube account. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but maybe you'll want a plugin that does that for you. Now, you can kind of think outside the box there, and essentially with plugins, people could kind of make their own bots for trading as well. If they were to create a plugin that were to respond to an alert by using its information to buy or sell using the exchange orders. So you can create a plugin that would interact with an exchange to respond to the alerts. So there's a lot of potential here, and that's what I'm trying to get at with discussing this with you all. There's a lot of potential for capturing these alerts, and it might be something that's actually useful. Now you might be thinking, this is pretty cool and all, but why isn't this a browser extension, or why isn't this a web application itself? Well, I'll tell you, I do not like browser extensions. I know I'm using a browser within the application here. As you can tell, we're browsing the web and looking at it here, but I don't really care for the browser extension method itself. Plus, I don't know how to use that one to create the memory mapped file and do some of the other things. Plus, I'm a .NET coder by day, so it makes more sense for me to work with something I'm more familiar with anyway. Now, why doesn't why didn't we create like a web application so people can, upload this to the website? Well, hosting's kind of expensive, uh, and this is meant to be entirely free. So you're going to have access to all of the resources on your computer or whatever computer you install this application on, as opposed to relying on other people or other services to maintain that for you. So I kind of like that myself. Especially for using it, I have complete control over all this stuff. Your API information that you save for your settings is only going to be saved on your computer. It's not going to be sent anywhere else. You don't have to worry about it being sent over the internet and being intercepted by someone and used or something like that. So, and also there's a lot of trust that comes with using an open source application because all the code is publicly available. But I think that is about it for now. I don't have anything else that I want to share right now. There are going to be other videos about this application coming up soon. I am interested in anyone who might be wanting to help and create some pull requests on some of the items that I would like to see in the project as well. So if you're interested, that's great. And hopefully I get to hear back from some of you all, hear some feedback on what you think about what I've done, whether or not you think it's actually useful, and whether or not some of the other features that I said may be coming are going to be useful, because I hate to just kind of waste time. But I really like your feedback on this particular application. So that is it for this video. Please, if you like this, please leave a like. If you're seeing this video for the first time, maybe you've come across it after this application has been announced, a while after it has been announced, and you are finding this interesting, please subscribe, because you'll find other updates on this particular application later on going forward on this channel. But that is it for today. I would like to thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.